Hi everybody, it's Irene with BrainStormAcres, and today I'm going to plant some potatoes. A couple of days ago I showed how I make these makeshift pots. I planted some sweet potato slips in one of them that we had. And today I've got this guy. He's got dirt up to here. This guy is a little lower. We picked up some mushroom compost. We made a major run to town a couple of days ago. We got some fencing. We got some potting soil. We got, and you know, some people might think it's not essential. Well, it is if you're raising your own food. So we needed some more fencing because we're going to fence a different section that we haven't fenced before, because we want to be able to grow some pots there without having to worry about bunny rabbits and such getting in. If you'll remember the other day, what I did was I took some compost and then I added, see, my stuff got moved, there it is. I added a little bit of bone meal. I will never learn to like the smell of that. It works like a dream. My bulbs have gone absolutely insane this year, but I still don't like the smell. I'm going to mix that in, and then when I water, I'm actually going to add a little bit of I call it fish juice. It's it's actually the equivalent of fish meal, except we can't get fish meal around here, so this is liquid fish. So it's just a 5-1-1, and the point of these is you're giving some nitrogen, but you're not doing an overload on the nitrogen. One of the problems with growing potatoes is if you do heavy nitrogen fertilization, you'll get monster potato plants and no potatoes, and that's not what we're looking for. We do care about the quality of our potato plants, but we're mostly concerned about getting good potatoes. I have this wonderful Smurf TV tray left over from when my kids were little, and it seemed like the perfect place to dry potatoes. So we had 2 bags of russets, but it was obvious that they're not the same variety. Even though they both are russets, the chits on them are really different. So let me show you up close here. This is really kind of weird. These were both sold as russet potatoes, but you can see that the way the sprouts on them are is very, very different. So I've actually sorted them out by type, and we're going to grow them in separate buckets just to see what the difference is. And I will be doing a little research to see if I can figure out what the difference might be. But they might be both sold as russets, but they're obviously not the same variety of potato. So I'm going to start with these guys over here, and I'm just going to scooch it down. I'm going to put one in each corner of this. Now this soil is slightly damp, but it's not very damp, and I'm going to have to water it. So I'm putting one in each corner of this bucket, and then I'm going to add more soil on top. Now, I'm not going to fill these to the top. There's no point. There's enough soil there to make the potatoes happy. I'm going to stick one more. Let's see, how many of these do I have left? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, perfect. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take one more. I'm going to stick it right in the top here, in the center, so that I've got them planted at opposite corners as far as they can be from one another. and on 2 different levels. I'm going to do the same thing, and I'm going to mark these somehow. I think I'm going to, let's see, keep these over here for now, and I will mark them because I want to know what's what. I may or may not ever be able to figure it out in terms of variety, but at least I'll know what they look like when they were planted. I'm going to do the same thing here, 1 in each corner. Now this compost is very inexpensive. It's probably not the best out there, but we've had pretty good luck. We use it as a mulch, and we also use it just plain to mix in with potting soil or other things in the garden to improve the quality of the beds. Our soil here is not good. It has very low organic content, and one in the middle. There we go. I'm going to put these over here, and that'll keep that segregated, and I will be looking to see if I can find. I doubt I'm going to be able to get enough information from anywhere as to guess what varieties they are, but as I say, they were both sold as russets, but I'm sure there's some technicality. I've discovered that a lot of times things that they sell under the same generic name in the grocery store are not the same thing by any sense of the imagination. Now some of these potatoes are not the greatest looking, so I'm going to choose the best, and we're going to stash them the same way we did the other ones. Now, because we don't know actually what type of potatoes these are, I mean, they're sold as russets, but that doesn't seem to mean anything. We don't know whether they're determinate or indeterminate. Now, what that means is, do they grow just on one level, or do they grow on multiple levels? People traditionally hill potatoes in order to keep potatoes from being pushed out of the soil. Green potatoes are poisonous. All potatoes, tomatoes, and peppers are in the solanum family, which is the nightshades. Nightshades are poisonous. You can eat parts of the plants, but not other parts. So, you can eat the fruits of the tomatoes and the peppers. You can eat the tubers of the potatoes. You cannot eat the leaves of any of them. They are all poisonous. So, these have all had their potatoes put in, and they've all had some bone meal put in. Now what I'm going to do is, I'm going to put in a teeny bit of, I need to shake this first, of stinky fish juice. Fish fertilizer. I would prefer to use fish meal, but for whatever reason they just sell fish juice around here instead. This will give a quick boost, but then will not be overbearing in terms of how much nitrogen it's putting in there. So just a little bit, like a tablespoon or less. The aroma of rotting seaweed. And I'm going to add to that some Micro Boost. Micro Boost will give you the weird things you might be missing: magnesium, sulfur, boron, copper, iron, manganese, molybdenum, and zinc. And I recognize those are American pronunciations. Our friends across the pond pronounce them differently, but they're the same stuff. So now I need water. Now, if I were using potting soil, I probably wouldn't add as much stuff. Although I'm not all that convinced that potting soil is all that balanced sometimes either. So we're kind of experimenting. We are at least giving everything the Micro Boost treatment this year. There we go. Now we'll give it a little bit of top water here. I want to make sure that everybody gets their fertilizer. So I'm not going to try and soak these until they leak out the bottom. I'm just going to try and make sure everybody gets their fertilizer first, because that's the most important thing. This is the fertilizer part. And that's all there is to it. That's potatoes. I've got one of these buckets full of sweet potato slips over there. I have another bucket over here that I'm planning to plant in sweet potato slips. But those slips are still in the house. We're kind of hedging our bets because we're still getting frost at night. In fact, we've had some serious heavy frost at night. And it looks like we're going to dip down in the 20s again, depending on which forecast you look at. Maybe next week. So we're keeping some of the stuff in the house just in case stuff in the greenhouse gets frosted a bit. Everything that's in here, with the exception of the sweet potatoes, is very frost hardy. Lots of brassicas, some lettuce, peas, those can all tolerate very heavy frost. And the peas are solidly safe until they start to bloom. In fact, we're debating when we're going to put them out. I have to check the forecast again in detail and see if we can figure it out. We need to get them out quick because we don't want them to get too pot bound, which is where we're getting to be right now. But all I'm going to do with this, in order to be done, is simply to water it. Now, you could do this on a little patio. I had actually planned to buy seed potatoes this year, and when I went to the store a couple of weeks ago, actually, there were no seed potatoes available. We had potatoes that had sprouted in our own larder, so we decided we would just make it work. We've done that before, and it worked fine. I would have preferred to buy seed potatoes because then I would know exactly the variety. But sometimes you don't get what you want, and you just have to make it work. So we hope this inspires you. Like I say, get yourself a pot. Throw some sprouted potatoes in it. Don't put too many in. There's a tendency to want to put them in tight. Nope. 3, 4, in the case of a larger pot like this, maybe 5. That's it. That's it. Give them plenty of room. Water them well. Keep them moist. They don't like soggy feet, but they do like to be moist. And good luck. Hopefully this inspires you. Be sure to like, hit that notification bell, subscribe, all the whole thing, so that you can see what else we're doing. We've got lots going on this spring. We're pushing a little bit harder than we usually would, but not dramatically. We kind of always go crazy in the spring because it's when you get stuff in. And since we've already had trouble buying vegetation at the grocery store, it seems like as good a year as any to grow your own. So until next time, take it easy. Bye.